Good day, one and all. It's Jeremy England again, coming to you. We're kind of switching things up a little bit. Instead of going to our regular handgun hunting and specialty pistols shooting, I'm coming to you today with a gear review. Moreover, the Grizzly G0750G Gunsmithing Lathe, 12 by 36 inch lathe from Grizzly Industrial. I ordered this lathe to get into doing my own work and expanding later on, and I just recently got this lathe up and running here just about a week ago. Ordered the lathe through Grizzly back in March. It's now mid-May, and the lead time on the lathes when they first stated was about, give or take, about a month to 2 months they stated. About 8 weeks later we got the lathe in, and I'm more than pleased with it. I went with the 0750G over the G4003G lathe, the other gunsmithing lathe, which is approximately about the same size, due to the fact that this one features an enclosed gear head. And after talking with Chris Rhodes of Bayside Custom Gun Works, he swayed me into going ahead and waiting for the enclosed gear head. And I'll go over some of the features with this, as well as show you the actual lathe in power itself, under power, and making a few cuts with it. I really like this lathe. It features power feed along both the cross slide as well as the carriage. It comes with a halogen work light, and it's supplied with 3 and 4 jaw chucks, a 6-inch 3-jaw and a 8-inch 4-jaw chuck, 2 dead centers, one being carbide tipped, and a live center. And the tailstock on this lathe is all set up for MT3 tooling. Grizzly stated that the 0750G was not available or didn't have the 1/2-inch chuck listed. I went ahead and ordered one of the Grizzly high precision drill chucks for it, along with a MT3 taper adapter for the chuck, and we added that on back here to our tailstock, and been really happy. The tailstock, as you see here, the tailstock features a 1/2-inch drive for setting up a torque wrench, so you can do a little more precise zeroing in on your tailstock with a torque wrench, and so on. The instruction manual that came with the lathe was pretty well straightforward. We followed it to the T as far as the spindle break-in procedure, and it goes in depth as far as doing that. After we got our spindle break-in procedure done, we went ahead and changed all the oils out in the headstock and the gearbox as well, and gave everything a good once over. I've been working with the Grizzly right hand turning tool with the Grizzly carbide insert on the quick change tool post, and I've been just completely tickled to death with it. It states it didn't only come with one extra tool holder. However, this one, I don't know if it was a mix-up in shipping. It included 2 tool holders, which I already had 2 or 3 more on hand for this one. It was coming. It come with all the tooling you need to maintain and keep this lathe up and working good. It also come with the quick change gears and a bunch of other stuff, as well as the steady rest and the follow rest, both being on bearings, and just a scad of tooling. The Grizzly shipped with a heavy Grizzly cast iron stand, 2-piece stand, and the total weight of this lathe is right around 1,100 pounds, with the head being over 800 pounds. The only complaint that I've got with this, and after talking with Chris, is the lathe is a little light in the bottom end due to the weight of the stands. The combined weight of the stands is only about 300 pounds, and I am probably going to wind up adding weight to those stands, albeit whether I use steel or wind up filling them with concrete. I'm not sure at this point in time exactly what I'm going to do, but it will only help to dampen out any vibration on this lathe. Again, I can't say enough about it. Grizzly was a wonderful, wonderful company to deal with altogether. They made it as painless as possible when it comes to this transaction. instead of charging this on a card, I went ahead and wired in the funds to Grizzly, and they were more than eager to help us set up the wire. I wired the money directly from my bank to Grizzly. They confirmed the funds once they got them on, and communication was excellent with the company. We have one glitch during the entire time, and that was when the lathe was dropped off. I had paid for liftgate service. The lathe was shipped from their Springfield, Missouri operation, and was shipped via UPS heavy freight. Luckily, we've got a UPS freight hub that's only about 75-80 miles down the road from us, and the first time they attempted to deliver the lathe, they brought it in on a standard road tractor without a lift gate, and that put us behind a few days getting it back out here. But Grizzly, I made a phone call to Grizzly. They got right on it, got it straightened out, and the lathe was here in just a couple of days. The driver, same driver luckily that we had the first day, came in here and was just great to work with. From ordering the lathe through Grizzly, the customer service I got, getting it shipped in, even the glitch we had with shipping UPS freight was great to deal with. They dropped it right here at curbside. The driver let me use his pallet jack. I pulled it straight up to the front of the house, and we went from there getting it uncrated. But anyway, I've been long in the tooth enough about this. We'll go on and show you some of the features that come with this lathe here in just a few minutes, and we'll go from there. But stand by and we'll get you some more on this lathe as far as the things that come with it, and talking some more about the things that come with it and the features. So stand by and we'll get you some more video. And here we are back with the Grizzly G0750G Gunsmithing Lathe. Showing you right now is the saddle, the controls on the saddle. Just stand by just a second. Let me flip around here where I can show you. Of course, the hand wheel for the carriage, cross slide, and the compound are all marked in thousandths per inch revolution. The compound is set up in 1,000th per revolution and can be re-zeroed. The cross slide is set up at 2,000ths per graduation, and the carriage travel is set up in 5,000ths. Here's our power feed for both the compound or the cross slide as well as the carriage. Here's our half nut lever, our threading dial, and the red handle is our carriage on and off, which I really enjoy having that right here on the carriage. Simply down for forward, up for reverse. And going from that, we're going to go back here to our tailstock. Again, the tailstock features both a quill lock as well as the carriage or the tailstock lock, and it has the 1/2-inch drive ability to where we can lock her down. Shown equipped here is the 4-jaw chuck from Grizzly. Zoom in and let you get a better look at it. That's the 3-jaw. I've just been doing some remedial turning on it, just getting to know the lathe. I have used the 4-jaw. The 4-jaw's been great. Run out's been very little on it. And here we are on our gearbox, or our gear head rather, or headstock. I'll get it right here in a minute. We have our master power switch right here, which, just like every other Grizzly, you have to turn it to kick your main power on, and your power start is right here. This one does feature an inching or jog button, forward and reverse controls as far as your power feed is concerned, and a simple straightforward spindle speed selection right here. Simply put on your power, you kick her in, that kills power to the lathe, and it's complete with all your not only your threads per inch, but your metric threads as well as your power feed selections here. And then down below that is, let me get down here and zoom in on it for you. Down below it here is our gearbox. And one thing that I really like about this versus the 4003G, 4003G uses levers, and this particular model, the 0750, uses the knobs. I've not been doing any threading, so I've got my power feed for my threading set to neutral. But all of your gear selections are done right here on these 4 levers. Whether you're setting up for power feed or you're setting up for threading, it's all done right here. It features a sight glass right here for the gearbox, and it features one more on the front for the headstock as well as having one on the carriage. But that's one thing I really enjoy versus the 4003G. Once you get this one set up the way you want it, you don't have to worry about it, one of the levers popping out. This one here, you basically just set the knob to what selection you want to, and you go from there. Here we are lastly. This is the back side of the lathe, back side of the headstock, if you will. And this one features the holes in the tailstock or the headstock right here to put the outboard spider screws in, where you can really dial your barrels in if you want to do that. And it features a simple cover, basically threads on this stop, and you can rotate it up out of the way. I probably see your holes again, and it is supplied with the with 4 brass tip carriage bolts where you can dial this in. And of course the cover, as I'm sure you well know, it's going to leave these bolts sticking out, and that could mean a really bad day for someone if they got tangled up in that. But nonetheless, it does have the cover. It does a good job coming over and covering it up. The bolts are back behind that cover, and if you're going to use that feature, make darn sure you keep this cover in place. If you was to inadvertently reach around the back for something, and one little slip up and you're tangled up in it. Lastly, we're going to give you a view of the gear assembly in the back for your change gears. It has a 127 and a 122 main gear, or idler gear rather, and then you set your threading or feed rates up by swapping these 2 gears out right here. Depending upon what feed rate or what thread pitch you're using, you'll put those corresponding gears in here, and it's as simple as loosening up this bolt here, removing this machine bolt, and then the gears come off. Really straightforward, self-explanatory. Put the corresponding tooth in, which you can't see on this side, but all the teeth are marked, which I plan to mark the back sides of the gears so I know what I've got in there. But the gears are marked on the face of them as far as to what spindle speed or what tooth count they are. These are your attachment points for your cover that you saw just a second ago. And of course it uses a 220 volt single phase motor that uses a twin V-belt drive, cog belt, for power. The amp draw on this motor, they rate it, state the minimum amperage rating is 15 amps. I've got this one on a 20 amp box mounted on the wall, and you probably saw the cord coming down from the ceiling. I'm still not made my mind up on how I want to do it. Grizzly states to give it 30 inches of clearance between the front and the back of the lathe for maintenance operation. I gave it 24 inches, and it gives me plenty of room to get in behind it to really do anything I need to do, whether it be cleaning or if I need to get into the electrical distribution panel, which is right up here at the back. It allows me to get in behind it and do anything I need to do. And that's another thing, the wiring diagram that came with this thing was great. I can't say enough about, again, the instruction manual it came with. It showed how to hook everything up, and even had color pictures of the wiring in the machine to show you what goes where. It was a simple 3-wire hookup, your hot, your neutral, and your ground. We ran that in on a 12 gauge to the box, and from our main breaker box to our lathe service, we've got it set up on a 10 gauge setup. We didn't want to starve it for electricity. We checked our voltage and everything after we got our box in, and we had virtually no drop on voltage or amperage across the span, which was about 40 feet. And again, we've got about 5.5 feet of wire coming from the main part of the lathe, the electrical distribution center on the lathe, to our box, to our breaker. Again, wonderful product. And the last thing I'll touch on is the stands, and then we'll show you the machine in operation and under power. Lastly, here's a good look at the stand. Both halves of the stand are made of cast iron, and I think the combined weight of both halves of the stand is just over 300 pounds. They have a really nice cabinet on each side, really nice latches, and they have one shelf per side, which divides the cabinets, and one could store whatever they needed to in it. Like I said, the main complaint I've got with it is it's very light on the bottom end, and if I don't change my mind, as I stated earlier, I'll probably wind up throwing the concrete in the bottom of this to give it more weight, or something else. The way it's looking right now, I'll probably mix up some concrete and pour it within the stands, seal the doors, and pour it in just to give it more weight on the bottom half to prevent any vibration. But that's our overview of the lathe itself, and again, we'll get to the end of this and we'll show you the lathe under power. Stand by for just a minute and we'll get you some video of chips being made. Here we are with the Grizzly G0750G lathe, the one I've been talking about. And I've got a simple piece of aluminum chucked up here. We've already got our RPM set, and we're going to be taking about a 20 thousandths cut on the first pass. This is for a tripod mount for a camera. We're going to be turning it down just slightly smaller than the shaft diameter here. As you can see, I've already touched off. I'm going to go ahead and dial in about 20 thousandths on the cross feed, and we'll go ahead and fire it up. As you can see, the Grizzly, even with the El Cheapo Grizzly turning tool and carbide insert, does a wonderful job. Leaves a great finish on metal, and like I said, we'll be turning this down to just under the main diameter of what you see here on the end, and we're just basically taking roughing cuts right now. As you can see, the 0750G does a great job, and looking forward to doing some more work with it and some more projects to come along, especially for our handgun hunting videos and stuff. But anyway, I appreciate you watching this, and we'll get back to you later. Thanks.